والسلام على رسول الله. Okay, my name is Bassam Zawadi, and I'm going to be presenting debating and reasoning. Now, obviously, if you're going to converse with people from other faiths, and they have different opinions, which they're clearly going to have, you're going to be exchanging arguments with them. And that's what debating is. And if you're going to debate with them, you have to do it in a reasonable and intellectual way. And that's the reasoning aspect of this presentation. The principles and etiquettes of debate in Islam. First thing that we should know is debating something which is encouraged in Islam to begin with? Am I just saying, hey guys, let's go and debate, and maybe Islam forbids it? It does not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah 16, verse 125, invite all to the way of thy Lord, with wisdom and beautiful preaching, and argue with them in ways that are best and most gracious. For thy Lord knoweth best, who have strayed from his path and who receive guidance. Now you see the word argue might have some negative connotations in our minds when we think of people arguing with each other. Kind of think of them fighting with each other. But you see, the technical meaning of the word argue is exchanging an argument. And what the Qur'an is saying is that you do it in a wise manner and in a beautiful manner. So there's nothing wrong with arguing. What would be wrong is arguing the wrong way, which is in a violent way, cursing the other person, being politically incorrect, etc. What is the objective of a debate? Okay, these are some points that I've lined up myself. I'm not saying that this is the complete list. If you guys have other opinions, you guys could share it with me. But first thing is to have Allah guide the people by using your arguments as a means for their guidance. So what you have to understand is that it is Allah who's going to guide the individual. However, there has to be some means by which Allah works, and you would want to be the means that Allah uses in order to guide a certain person. The Prophet, peace be upon him, he told Ali bin Abi Talib, he's like, if Allah guides one person through you, it's better than having 1,000 red camels. It's probably equivalent to having 1,000 Ferraris today or something. So you want to be, not Honda, so you want to be the means by which Allah uses to guide an individual. So we believe in asbab, we believe in means. And at the same time, you have to believe that it is not in your control that the person is going to be guided to Islam. You don't have that power over that individual. But you could take the appropriate means and hope that Allah would use that in order to guide the individual. To strengthen the faith of the Muslims. You see, the purpose of the JILC and the purpose of my website is not only to convert people to Islam. You'd also want to strengthen the faith of the Muslims and try to ensure that Muslims don't leave Islam. So don't think that's the only goal. Let's say you're having a conversation with a non-Muslim and you have a few Muslims sitting on the same table. They're going to be listening to the discussion too. If you could walk out of that dialogue having their faith strengthened, but the non-Muslim did not consider Islam as an option, don't consider that as a failure. Okay, and even if everyone walks away from the discussion, the Muslims did not have their faith strengthened, or the non-Muslims didn't care, at least you'll get rewarded for your intention. But this should make you wake up and realize, hey, maybe I'm doing something wrong here. To clear up misconceptions of Islam in an attempt to reduce hostility towards it. I'm very impressed that several Muslims took corrective action, took a lot of action after September 11th. A lot of Muslims went to the churches, they went to the synagogues, they went up, they spoke to the people, they clarified the matter to them, they said this is not part of our religion, these people are distorting our faith. So you see, their intention at that time was not to go and invite them to Islam. It was to clear up some misconceptions regarding Islam. It's better to have hostility reduced than not at all. To show that Islam is an intellectually viable option that one can opt for. You want to present Islam in a way in which you're telling the person, look, this is a rational option that you could choose. You don't want people to perceive that, okay, it's intellectual to be an atheist because, I can believe in science, all that stuff. It's intellectual to be a Christian because, they have historical evidence and manuscripts of the Bible. But what does Islam have? You don't want that. You want to make it to be a rational option that one could choose. Points of agreement that should be between you and the individual that you're having a discussion with. And you and the person whom you are debating should agree to make the topic of discussion focused. Don't divert away from the topic. Okay? Like, if you're going to sit down with someone and you want to talk to him about the character of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, don't let this guy come and start talking about Jesus in the Bible and how he has a good character. Always try to make sure that you focus, because if you're going to divert away from the topic, the discussion is fruitless. You want to have benefited anything. It's better to focus 2-3 hours on one topic and never discuss the topic again, since you said everything that you had to say, than to talk about 3 or 4 points and you're spending half an hour on each one, and you didn't spend enough time on each one, so you walk away from the discussion not knowing or learning anything. Both of you should agree that none will offend each other and clarify what you perceive to be offensive. You don't just go and tell the person you're going to have a discussion. Okay, look, I'd like to discuss faith with you. I'd like to have an interfaith dialogue with you. However, we don't offend each other. Okay, so let's proceed. No, you got to clarify what you perceive as offensive. I was watching a debate between a Muslim and a Christian. It was on YouTube, and an atheist, sorry. It was on YouTube. They're debating the existence of God. And you know what the atheist said to the Muslim? He said, look, I respect you. I don't think that you're stupid. I only believe that your religion is stupid. And he thought that he wasn't being offensive. You see? Okay, I respect you as a person, but I find your religion to be stupid. And the atheist really thought he wasn't being offensive here. So that's why you have to clarify to the person you're talking to what you perceive to be offensive and not. I would rather have him insult me and not my religion. For example, tell the person, I welcome criticism, I welcome questions, but you have to present it in a certain manner. Don't degrade my faith. You could criticize it. And when I mean criticize, I mean object to it. Ask questions. Say, Bassam, I disagree with Islam because of this and that. Don't tell me your stupid religion says this and that. There's a big difference between the two. Clarify what you perceive to be offensive before you enter into a discussion with a person. Both agree to listen to each other attentively and not interrupt the other person when he's speaking. This is common sense. The only difference is that none of us apply it fully. Okay? And allocate a specific amount of time to each person and strictly adhere to it. Now, this would obviously make the discussion a little bit more formal. Okay, you have 3 minutes, I got 3 minutes. Okay, then I have a 2-minute response. People usually don't talk like that, but if you could try to organize it in a way that if you're meeting this person several times, just tell them, look, can you just give me 2 minutes? I have to say something. Because, the person will get impatient. He might interrupt you. So if you could try to make it as organized as you can, it's best.